Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NXT review for the 31st of May 2022. NXT continues to be a horrible show that does not belong on national television, but it is what it is. Show opens Diamond Mine backstage, getting ready for a match with Roderick Strong and Damien Kemp. Kicking off the show with a tag team match. Strong tells Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers that they have the night off. The rift between Diamond Mine continues. Strong and Kemp leave everybody else behind. Pretty Deadly, Ethan Prince, and Kit Wilson defeat the Diamond Mine, Damien Kemp, and Roderick Strong in a non-title match. Strong drops the fall after being distracted by his own stable from the outside and kind of playing into the previous dissension in the stable. Kemp gets the shine and shows a bunch of fire, then tags in, has a struggle for a moment. They taunt Pretty Deadly. Strong slaps Kemp, fires up Kemp, and Diamond Mind remains in control. Then they execute stereo backbreakers on Pretty Deadly. Show cuts to a split screen commercial. Show returns from the commercial. Title break, Tide turns, and Pretty Deadly works over Kemp until they're able to tag out. The tag belts are brought into the ring, and the heel champs attempt to cheat. They try to use the title belts. Strong attempts to capitalize using the O'Connor roll and is unable to score a pinfall. Brutus Creed yells at him from ringside, distracting Strong and leading to a lost pre-tape skit for the match later tonight. Josh Briggs challenging Grayson Waller. Wasn't Waller majorly pushed like not even 3 months ago? Anyway, Tony D'Angelo and the crew arrive at Santos Escobar's yacht for a meeting with Legado del Fantasma. Boat heads out to sea, and Elektra Lopez says, take them all out somewhere. Conversation turns into meeting between the two factions. D'Angelo sneers at Escobar, telling him to look him in the eye. He calls Escobar punk, and then D'Angelo then proceeds to add the stipulation. Whichever team loses, they must join the opposing family and take orders from them. This is just goofy television. Escobar accepts the challenge and tells D'Angelo that they have a deal. They shake on it. The six-man match is official for the In-Your-House deal. Cora Jade defeats Elektra Lopez. Jade pins Lopez to win. Lopez is alone in the match without her faction. Why are there so many factions? Anyway, fighting on the apron, Jade lands a knee strike. Lopez falls into position for the finish. Jade jumps off the top rope with a senton bomb. Jade then goes on to score the pinfall. Mackenzie Mitchell interviews Wes Lee, and Lee throws shade at Zion Quinn. This leads to Wesley defeating Zion Quinn after a vignette profiling Roxana Perez. It shows her as a young age, meeting the Bella Twins and Natalia before a house show in Laredo, Texas. Also features clips of Perez training at the Reality of Wrestling Academy. Perez details her journey and sacrifices along the way. She vows to make her dreams come true next week by winning the women's breakout tournament. Wesley and Zion Quinn. Lee pins Quinn. Lee sells the entire match. Match happened after being delayed several times. Basically, Quinn builds and manhandles Lee in the match. Quinn is in control for the majority of the match. USA Network censors some swearing as Quinn signals for the finisher. Quinn takes a bit too long, allowing Lee to get a last-ditch effort in. Roderick Strong then is in the Diamond Mine locker room and yelling at his stablemates. Then Strong tells the Creeds and Nile that they are out of the Diamond Mine if they lose at the In-Your-House network purview. Anyway, so then we go, Breaker is doing backstage interview with lights, and the voice comes from above, haunting him. Breaker then puts a monitor, presumably. Then the women's championship summit table set up, and they basically do another goofy challenge here. Katrina Chance and Caden Carter set to challenge JC Jane and Gigi Dolan for tag titles in your house. Wendy Chu also challenges Mandy Rose for singles title in your house. These are horrible matches. Mandy Rose still manages to get through her promo and she signs the contract for her match. Cho then returns Rose with a spitwad. It's like we're 5 years old. Anyway, Rose attacks Cho and melee ensues. That's what's to be expected. Karina James confronts Ivy Nile backstage. James chastises her about the creeds, chances it in your house, and there we go. Solo Sikoa defeats Duke Hudson. Sikoa pins Hudson after Super Size Splash. Sikoa's push continues as his next challenge for the North American Championship appears. Then Sikoa shines early. He gets cut off. Hudson briefly works him over and then makes a comeback. Sikoa does the House of Fire bit and splash by Sikoa from the top, followed by Super Splash Splash, covering Hudson for a clean pinfall. Vignette: Tiffany Stratton ahead of her meeting Roxanne Perez in the finals of the women's tournament. The Thea Hale graduates high school last weekend. She claims to choose where she plans to attend. As a swerve, she announces she plans to attend Chase University. And then Grayson Waller defeats Josh Briggs. Waller pins Briggs after Von Wagner causes a distraction. And at this point, the show's getting really long. But anyway, Waller grabs the microphone and insults Briggs before the match. Briggs fires up. Waller uses cheap shot to gain an upper hand after a double down. Sophia Cromwell and Mr. Stone enter the soundstage. Comeback by Briggs and begins to go after Waller. Von Wagner appears at ringside and jumps onto the ring apron. And then capitalizing on the outside interference, Waller goes to pin Briggs. Wagner jumps Briggs after the match, and he calls out Cromwell. Ivy Nile defeats Kiana James. Nile pins James after the win, clean. Basically, continues with loser of the match, gets offensive. Then Pretty Deadly comes to the ring after the match, cuts a promo on the Diamond Mine. Pretty Deadly attempts to surround Ivy Nile in the ring. Creeds come down and cut them off. North American champion Cameron Grimes defeats Nathan Frazier in a non-title match. Thankfully, this is the last segment of the show. Grimes pinned Frazier in a babyface versus babyface match. Fast-paced action through the match. Frazier is better in the ring than he is in terms of wins and losses. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams are at ringside, and the announcer's desk providing guest commentary. Babyface match here tonight, and neither plays any sort of heel. Grimes and Frazier wrestle through a split-screen commercial break. They set a fast pace and then the knee match on tonight's card. They trade near falls. What's described on commentary as a high-octane match. And then Frazier is looking at a strong shine. Frazier then dives through the ropes to the outside just before finishing sequence. Frazier then claims that he has issues. Hayes attempts to jump Grimes after the match, but is thwarted by Grimes. Williams pulls Hayes out of the ring and back away as the show closes. Yeah, this is not a program that belongs on national television, but the standards of what pro wrestling is has dropped so much that, well, here it is. We'll be back with more right after this.